Welcome to MyDATCP version 3, the how-to video for Wisconsin Commercial Pesticide Business License, Restricted Use Dealer, and Individual Applicator License Renewal. In this video, we are going over registering an account, renewing your license, and paying your invoice. You will want your expiration notice, a note-taking tool, and a payment method handy during this process. In this example, we have a business license, 3 applicators, and a restricted use dealer license to renew. You will receive an expiration notice in the mail that looks similar to this one. Either you will have an email for you to log into the account, which would be found right here, or a PIN for you to register your account. If the email on the expiration notice is no longer associated with your business, or the PIN provided is not working, please reach out to us and we will issue a new PIN to you. To navigate to the MyDATCP version 3 portal, you can either type in the website found on the expiration notice right here, or you can go to the DATCP website. Click on the Online Service button on the far left ribbon menu. Scroll down and click on MyDATCP. Here you will be on the MyDATCP portal. Please note that Commercial Pesticide Applicator License, Reciprocal Pesticide Applicator License, Commercial Pesticide Application Business Licenses, and Dealer Distributor of Restricted Use Pesticide Licenses must be renewed through MyDATCP version 3. You will find that version by clicking this link here. If you decide after watching this video that you would rather submit your license renewal via paper, be sure that you include the following items in your mailed application. 1. Your completed application that is found on the back of the expiration notice. 2. The payment coupon on the expiration notice. And 3. The payment of the license. A reminder that a late fee is applied to all renewal applications submitted or postmarked after December 31st. If you are new to MyDATCP and you need to create an account, click on the Register button at the top of the screen. Once here, you will input your email, create a password, retype the password, and enter the PIN provided on your expiration notice. As you see here, I have entered in all of the following information and I'm going to click Next. Once you click Next, you will then be asked to create 3 security questions and answers to them. Here we have created 3 questions and answers to each of those questions. Once you've done that, click Submit. Please note that these questions may be used to verify account access, if a password is forgotten, or if a password needs to be changed. DATCP does not know the answer to these questions, nor do we know your password. If at any point you do not remember the answer to your security questions, you will need to reach out to us and we will reset your account. Once you click Submit, this will route you to your new MyDATCP portal. Welcome to your MyDATCP version 3. You will first want to click on the My Services button at the top of the screen. Please review the navigation tips before proceeding. You will then find this header and on the right-hand side a caret. Select that caret and you will see a drop-down of your Commercial Pesticide Application Business License. If you scroll all the way over, you will then see another caret drop-down. Select that. Here, you will find a button that says View the License. This will view your current license of the current year. The button below that is Renew License. Select that. Once you are in the renewal, you will then follow the prompts and edit any information as needed. If you do not need to edit any information, you can just select the Next button. In the Activities portion, you will see all of our certification categories. If you added an applicator that has additional certification that you would like listed under your business license, you can select that here. Once you've selected all the certification categories that fall under your application business, you can then select Next. Applicator information lists all the individual applicators that you had associated with your business in the current year. Because these 3 individuals were listed on the business license for the active year, they are listed under your renewal for the following year. If at any point any of these applicators are no longer associated with your business, you can unselect them like that. In this instance, we would like to add an applicator. To add an applicator, you just type in their license number. If the applicator that you want to add does not have a current license number, you will have to renew their license via paper. Here you will see that I added the license number and it lists the individual of which that license is associated with. Please note that because these applicators are listed here does not mean that they are automatically renewed. For Bucky, Goldie, and Herbie, we will be going through and renewing their individual licenses after we finish the business license. For Brutus, you will either have to renew their license via paper or log into their MyDATCP account on your own. Once you are done adding your applicators or unselecting your applicators, you will click Next. Here you will have the signature page. In this example, Bucky Badger is the owner of Big Ten Pest Pros. Bucky then filled out all of the information needed and then will submit the application. Once submitted, it should take you back to the home screen. If all you want to do is renew the business license, you will then select Invoices. However, if you want to renew all of your applicators or other licenses associated to you, you will then go to the top of the screen where it says your business license and click the drop-down. Here you will find all of your applicators associated to your business, as well as other licenses associated to your businesses. You will note that you will not see Brutus listed underneath the licensed applicators, and that is because they are not associated to the business yet. Please note, like said in the steps before, that you will either have to renew them via paper or go through their MyDATCP portal and renew online that way. We are going to be starting the renewal process for Goldie Gopher. To do that, you will select that applicator. Here it'll look like the same home screen as the business license. You will then select My Services. Here you will see the same header with the same caret, and you will select that as well. Here you will find the individual commercial pesticide applicator with their license number. To the right hand of the screen, there is another caret to drop down, and you will select that. Just like with the business license, there is a button to view the current year's license and a button below that to renew the license. Select Renew License. Here, it'll look like the same prompts as the business license with just slightly different questions pertaining to the applicator. You will go through each step and edit as necessary. Under License Contacts, this is where you can choose where DATCP sends materials to. If you would like renewals and the licenses to go to the individual applicator, you can select that as so. If you would like that information to be sent to your business, you can simply select the Add button. Here, there will be a drop-down where you can select your business license. You will then need to select this toggle switch, in which it will list your address. Once you've filled out all of the required fields, you will then select Submit on the right side of the screen. Under Applicator Information, you will find the certification number and expiration date. If the number or the expiration date is incorrect, please email us at the email above. Here you will find the business license location. For this instance, I am the business that is renewing this applicator, and so the business license number is correct. If you are an individual who is renewing their own license and you are no longer associated with this business, you can unselect and select the business location number here. If throughout the year you have added certification, you can add that in this portion here. And then select next. Because Bucky is filling out the renewals for all of their applicators, they are signing the signature themselves. Once you have filled out all the fields completely, you will then select Submit Application. Once you've submitted that application, you will then be back to Goldie's home screen. You will follow the same process for all of the applicators that you need to renew. Once you've completed all of those applicators' renewals, you will then move to your restricted use dealer license. We are now going to start the process of renewing the restricted use dealer license. To do so, you will go to the top portion of the right side of the screen and hit the drop down. It does not matter what account you are in, you just need to select the drop down arrow. You will then select the license for the restricted use dealer. Just like with the business licenses and the individual licenses, to renew, you will select My Services. Just like in the previous steps, you will hit the drop down and you will see the dealer distributor of restricted use pesticide license and that license number here. You will then select the drop down again, and here you will see the button to view the license of the current year and to renew the license for the next year. Click Renew License. You will then follow the prompts and select Next under each prompt and edit as necessary. Under the Annual Report portion of the renewal, it'll ask a question if you have submitted your annual report. If you select Yes, you can move on to Next. If you select No, it'll then give you the option to upload the report here. Please note that if you do not submit a report, then we will not issue out a restricted use dealer license. Before you select Next, you will have to select the toggle stating that you understand that. Once you've selected Next, you will then get to the signature portion, which again Bucky has filled out. Once completed, you will then select Submit Application. To pay for invoices, you will select the Invoice button on the top portion of the screen. If you only want to pay for that specific license and none of the other ones, you will hit this toggle and submit the payment. However, if you would like to pay for all the licenses that you have renewed, you will need to go back to your pesticide business license. In this instance, we will need to go back to Big 10 Pest Pros, the pesticide business license. Here you will see that their business license is listed here. On the top portion, it'll have a button that says Show Shared Unpaid Invoices. Select that button. Here you will see all of the individual applicators that we have renewed here. You can then select the toggle at the top, and that'll select all of the licenses with an amount due. If you do not want to pay for a certain applicator at this time, you can then select that toggle and it'll take them off of the payment. Once you have everything selected, you will then submit your payment as usual. Once you've sent in the renewal and submitted the payment online, at any point you can log back in under My Services and see the status of your application. Currently, everything is under pending because our office has not reviewed the license. Once everything's been reviewed, the status will then be in full. You will then be able to print off your license from the My Services button if you do not want to wait for the actual license to come in the mail. This will conclude the tutorial for renewing your pesticide applicator business licenses, individual applicator licenses, and restricted use dealer licenses. If you have any other questions or problems, you can email us at datcappesticide.info@wisconsin.gov. Thank you.